Alaman si Mama.
Anong floor?
Sabi ko na kay BG, taan ka mo. Ay, ito.
Ikaw mong bitsismisan.
Oo ba? Ano naman? Boss.
Ikaw ni Bia sa Federal. Ngetos lakas. Ang komisyon sa Federal.
The session is called to order. Please rise for the singing of the national anthem.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupit, di ka masisingil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bakaw, may nilang ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidinig. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magdidilig. Lupa ng araw ng waraming pagsikta, buhay ay langit sa atin mo. Aming ligaya dapat may mga aking magmamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
And to deliver the invocation, the Honorable Jerville Jinky Beatrix Luistro is recognized.
Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Gracious and guiding Creator, as we gather in this esteemed chamber, a symbol of our nation's democratic foundation, we bow our heads in humility and reverence. We come before you, recognizing the weight of our responsibilities as stewards of the people's will and architects of the nation's destiny. In this moment of unity, we seek your divine presence to illuminate our hearts and minds. Grant us the wisdom to discern the path that upholds justice, fosters compassion, and advances the common good. May our deliberations be infused with a spirit of cooperation, transcending our differences for the greater purpose of serving our fellow citizens. We acknowledge the diversity that enriches our land, each voice and perspective a testament to the strength of our democracy. As we engage in discourse, may our words be rooted in respect and empathy, allowing us to bridge and build understanding. Bless the decisions we make, that they may reflect your eternal principles of truth, equity, and kindness. As we chart the course of our nation's future, let our actions be guided by a desire to leave a legacy of unity, progress, and hope for generations to come. Extend your grace to those who have entrusted us with their hopes and aspirations. May we be ever mindful of the trust they've placed in us, and may our actions honor their faith in our democracy. As we embark on this legislative journey, we ask for strength to overcome challenges and courage to stand up for what is right, even when the path is difficult. May we never lose sight of the humanity in each decision we make, remembering that our duty extends far beyond these walls. In this sacred moment, bind us together as one people, regardless of party or creed. May your guiding light shine upon us, filling this chamber with your presence and the promise of a better tomorrow. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we call the roll of members.
The Secretary is directed to call the roll of the members.
Roll call of members. Honorable Representatives. Abalos. Abante. Abunda. Acharon. Asidre. Acop. Adyong. Advincula. Agaraw. Alba. Albano. Almario. Almonte. Alonte. Alvarez Jose. Alvarez Mercedes. Alvarez Pantaleon. Amante. Amatong. Angara. Aquino. Aquino Magsaysay. Arbison. Arenas. Arrogancia. Asistio. Ataide. Omentado. Balindong. Barba. Barbers. Baronda. Barzaga. Baskub. Bautista. Bautista Lim. Benitez. Bernos. Billones. Biron. Bolilia. Bondok. Bongalon. Bordado. Bosita. Briones. Rosas. Buhain. Bulot Begtam. Bustos. Cabredo. Cagas. Kahayon Uy. Calderon. Calixto. Campos. Kawagdan. Cardema. Cari. Castro Franz. Castro Jane. Celeste. Chan, Chato, Chua, Chungalao, Ko Angelica Natasha, Ko Elizalde, Ko Pilar, Ko Juanco Jaime Eduardo Mark, Ko Juanco Mark, Colada, Colliantes, Corvera, Cruz Ambrosio, Cruz Ricardo, Cua, Quaresma, Dagoo, Dalipe, Dalog, Dayang Hirang, Daza, De Jesus, De Venecia, Defensor, Del Mar, De Los Santos, Dimaporo Muhammad Khalid, Dimaporo City Amina, Dionisio, Domingo, Duavit, Duhali, Duterte, D. Faustino Ino, D. Faustino Michael Carlos, D. Ian Paul, Ecleo, Emano, Enverga, Espares, Espina, Estrella, Udela, Farinas, Fernandez, Ferrer Antonio, Ferrer Juliet Marie, Flores, Fortes, Frasco, Presnedi, Fuentebella, Galeyos, Garcia Albert, Garcia Dante, Garcia Jose Arturo, Garcia Maria Angela, Garcia Pablo Jan, Garcia Vincent, Guardiola, Garin, Gasataya, Gato, Go Ed Christopher, Go Mark, Goles, Gomez, Gonzaga, Gonzales Aurelio Dong, Gonzales Neptali, Gonzales Sandro, Goriseta, Guico, Gintu, Gulyas, Gutierrez, Hagidorn, Haresco, Hataman, Hernandez, Herrera, Horibata, Javier, Ko Olga Ara, Ko Ricardo, Ko Wilton, Konghun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lacson Noel, Lagman, Lagon Daphne, Lagon Sani, Lara, Lazatin, Lee, Legarda, Libanan, Lim Kay Chong, Loyola, Luistro, Lumayag, Macapagal Arroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Magsino, Malapitan, Mangawang, Manikis, Manuel, Maranyon, Marcoleta, Marcos, Mariano Hernandez, Marinio, Marquez, Martinez, Mastura, Matibag, Matugas, Mendoza, Mercado, Mercado Revilla, Miguel, Momo, Morden, Nava, Nisay, Noel, Nograles Juan Fidel Felipe, Nograles Margarita, Nolasco, Owaminal, Olaso, Olivares, Ongchuan, Ordanes, Ortega, Owano Dizon, Padiernos, Paduano, Paglas, Palma, Panaligan, Pancho, Panotes, Pascual, Peña, Pimentel, Plaza, Pleito, Primicia Zagabas, Pumaren, Puno, Kimbo, Rama, Recto, Regencia, Remulla, Revilla Brian, Revilla Ramon Jolo, Reyes, Rillo, Rivera, Robes, Rodriguez Eulogio, Rodriguez Rufus, Roman, Romero, Romualdez Ferdinand Martin, Romualdez Yeda Marie, Romualdo, Romulo, Roque, Sakdalan, Sagarbaria, Sakaluran, Salceda, Sali, Talimbangon, Salo, Salvame, Santos, Saulug, Silverio, Singson Richel, Singson Ronald, Singson Mihan, Solon, Suwan, Swansing Horacio, Swansing Micaela Angela, Suarez, Talyado, Tamayo, Tambunting, Tan Joseph, Tan Keith Micah, Tan Reynolds Michael, Tan Samir, Tan Stephen James, Tan Tambut, Tan Chay, Tan Watko, Tariela, Teodoro, Teves, Tiangco, Tieng, Tolentino, Tulfo Irwin, Tulfo Jocelyn, Tulfo Ralph Wendell, Tupas, Tutor, T, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Valeriano, Valmayor, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velasco, Veloso Tuazon, Vergara, Verzosa, Villa, Villafuerte Luis Raymond, Villafuerte Miguel Luis, Villanueva, Villar, Villaraza Juarez, Villarica, Violago, Yamsuan, Yap Christiantel, Yap Christopherson, Yap Edvic, Yap Eric, Yu Divina Grace, Yu Jazel Victoria, Yulo, Zamora Amparo Maria, Zamora Maria Carmen, Zamora Isabel Maria, Zubiri. Madam Speaker, the roll call shows that 227 members responded to the call.
With 227 members responding to the call, the chair declares the presence of a quorum. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move for the deferment of the approval of the journal of the previous session.
There is a motion. Is there any objection? The chair is none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move now that we now proceed with the reference of business and request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bills and resolutions on first reading as well as communications and committee reports. So move, Madam Speaker.
The Secretary General is directed to read the titles of bills and resolutions on first reading, as well as message, communications, committee reports for referral to the appropriate committees.
Reference of business, bills on first reading. House Bill 8941, expanding the positions reserved for qualified PWDs by Representatives Tulfo Erwin, Yap Edvic, Tulfo Jocelyn, Yap Eric, and Tulfo Ralph Wendell.
To the Special Committee on Persons with Disabilities.
House Bill 8942, expanding the positions reserved for qualified PWDs by Representative Duterte.
To the Special Committee on Persons with Disabilities.
House Bill 8943, naming the road commencing in Poblacion of Ormoc at junction of Hermosilla Drive, traversing Barangay North, formerly District 29, at Rizal Extension Road, and Barangay Donghol at Donghol Lake Imelda Road as the Benjamin Pongos Avenue by Representative Gomez.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
House Bill 8944, naming the road commencing in Barangay Libertad at junction Ormoc Merida National Road, traversing Barangays Libertad, Salvacion, and Dayagan, at junction Ormoc Carigara Palo National Road as the Mayong Rodriguez Avenue by Representative Gomez.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
House Bill 8947, granting the First Catanduanes Electric Cooperative, Inc. a franchise for the conveyance of electric power to the end users in certain municipalities in the island province of Catanduanes by Representatives De Jesus, Dagook, and Teves.
To the Committee on Legislative Franchises.
House Bill 8948, granting universal social pension to senior citizens by Representatives Co. Elizalde and Kimbo.
To the Committee on Senior Citizens.
House Bill 8949, mandating the formulation, financing, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of a comprehensive and multi-year Tatak Pinoy Proudly Filipino strategy, establishing a Tatak Pinoy Council, Representative Marcos.
To the Committee on Trade and Industry.
House Bill 8950, converting the road stretching from Barangay Rojas, San Isidro to Barangays Nueve Campo and Talisay, San Benito, Surigao del Norte into a national road by Representative Matugas.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
House Bill 8951, instituting the Magna Carta of Filipino Migrant Workers by Representative Salo.
To the Committee on Overseas Workers Affairs.
House Bill 8952, providing free legal assistance to co-auditors facing charge before the prosecutor's office, court, or any quasi-judicial body arising from an incident related to the performance of official duty by Representative Villanueva.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 8953, granting Philippine citizenship to Miguel Diaz by Representative Escudero.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 8954, requiring a basic first aid training for personnel of tourism enterprises, tourism-oriented non-government organizations, and people's organizations, and individual providers of tourism-related services by Representative Juano Dizon.
To the Committee on Tourism.
House Bill 8955, amending the Government Auditing Code of the Philippines by allowing bonded barangay treasurers to retain the barangay's 50% share from payments of community tax certificates by Representative Juano Dizon.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 8956, requiring establishments to provide priority seating for the elderly by Representative Juano Dizon.
To the Committee on Senior Citizens.
House Bill 8957, mandating the establishment of water impounding systems, facilities for establishments with an area of 5 hectares or more by Representative Pancho.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
House Bill 8958, instituting reforms to enhance the efficiency and dynamism of the Philippine capital markets by Representative Salceda.
To the Committee on Ways and Means.
House Bill 8959, mandating all commercial establishments and public buildings in every city and municipality of the country, whether for profit or not, and operating public toilets to install bidet sprays on such public toilets, imposing penalties for violations therefore, by Representative Vargas.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 8960, ensuring that senior high school graduates under the K-12 program are equipped with the knowledge, training, and skills demanded in the labor market, enhancing their employability and competitiveness, creating the Batang Magaling Councils to strengthen multi-stakeholder collaboration and support for their empowerment, allowing full deduction of training expenses incurred for their skills development, by Representative Tambunting.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture and the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 8961, mandating a master plan for flood management, increasing penalties for violations of environmental laws by Representative Tabunting.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
House Bill 8962, establishing the Regional Courts of Labor Relations under the supervision of the Supreme Court, abolishing the National Labor Relations Commission, by Representative Tambunting.
To the Committee on Labor and Employment.
House Bill 8963, enhancing accessibility in the voting of senior citizens, PWDs, pregnant women, and indigenous peoples, by Representative Tambunting.
To the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms.
House Bill 8964, declaring a portion of the area in Barangay Magobawok under timberland classification as alienable and disposable land for the application and exclusive use of the local government of Bayaba, Surigao del Sur, and the establishment of its government center therein, by Representative Momo.
To the Committee on Natural Resources.
House Bill 8965, separating Pasay City North High School, Tramo Campus in Barangay 57, Tramo, Pasay City, from Pasay City North High School, converting it into Independent National High School to be known as Pasay City National High School, by Representative Calixto.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 8966, extending the existing franchise of Camarines Sur 4 Electric Cooperative, Inc. for the conveyance of an electric power to the end users in certain municipalities of Ocampo, Tigaon, Sagnay, Goa, San Jose, Lagonoy, Presentacion, Garchitorena, Caramoan, and its neighboring suburbs, by Representatives Fuentebella, Bordado, De Jesus, and Dagoong.
To the Committee on Legislative Franchises.
House Bill 8967, revitalizing the salt industry, creating a comprehensive plan for its development, providing incentives to salt farmers, producers, and exporters, by Representative Marcos.
To the Committee on Agriculture and Food.
House Bill 8968, enhancing Philippine tax incentives policy and administration, by Representative Salceda.
To the Committee on Ways and Means.
Resolutions. House Resolution 1213, urging the COA to withhold publication of its audit findings, observations, or reports until the same have become final, by Representative Gomez.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 1215, expressing the profound sympathy and sincere condolences of the House of Representatives on the death of the Honorable Maria Susana Toots Ople, Secretary of the Department of Migrant Workers and champion of the rights and welfare of overseas Filipino workers, by Representative Magsino.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 1216, directing the House through the Committee on Foreign Affairs to investigate the veracity of the alleged promise to remove BRP Sierra Madre from Ayungin Shoal as claimed by China, by Representatives Castro, Franz, Brosas, and Manuel.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 1217, expressing the profound condolences of the House to the family of Secretary Maria Susana Toots Ople, by Representative Tambunting.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 1218, expressing the profound sympathies and sincere condolences of the House to the family and honoring the life of the late Secretary of the Department of Migrant Workers, the Honorable Maria Susana Toots Ople, by Representative Salo.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 1219, directing the House Committee on Labor and Employment to conduct an investigation into the alleged illegal mandatory collection deductions from the salaries of the employees of all electric cooperatives under the One EC Network Foundation, by Representatives D. Faustino, Albano, Go. Ed Christopher, D. Ian Paul, Tan Joseph, D. Faustino Michael Carlos, NT.
To the Committee on Rules.
Communications. Various letters and reports submitted by local government chief executives and officials regarding their fund utilization and status of program project implementation of the Local Government Support Fund.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Letters dated July 7 and 13, 2023 of the Secretary of Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity, Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity, informing the House that OPAPRO's financial report for the month of June 2023 was submitted to the Unified Reporting System and posted on their official website.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Letter dated July 14, 2023 of the State Auditor 4, Audit Team Leader, Audit Team R918, COA Regional Office 9, furnishing the House with a copy of their annual audit report on the Basilan State College for the year ending December 31, 2022.
To the Committee on Public Accounts.
Letters dated July 19 and 25, 2023 of the DOTR Undersecretary for Administration and Finance, transmitting to the House certain financial reports for the quarter ending June 30, 2023.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Letter dated July 21, 2023 of the BIR Commissioner forwarding to the House certain financial accountability reports as of June 30, 2023.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Letter dated July 27, 2023 of the CHR Executive Director submitting to the House a copy of their agency action plan and status of implementation on the audit observations and recommendations for the calendar year 2022.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Letter dated July 27, 2023 of the LBP President and CEO submitting to the House a copy of the report on the utilization of funds for the Conditional Cash Transfer Program, second quarter CY 2023.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Letter dated July 28, 2023 of DENR's Undersecretary, Finance Information Systems and Climate Change, informing the House that their budget and financial accountability reports and budget accountability report as of June 30, 2023 were posted in the transparency seal on their website.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Letter dated July 28, 2023 of the Undersecretary, OIC Office of the Secretary, Department of Migrant Workers, submitting to the House a copy of their quarterly fiscal report of operation as of June 30, 2023, which was posted under the transparency seal on their website.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Letter dated August 2, 2023 of the City Administrator, Navotas City, copy furnished the House submitting to the COA OIC Supervising Auditor a copy of their agency action plan and status of implementation on the COA's audit observations and recommendations for the calendar year 2022.
To the Committee on Public Accounts.
Letter dated August 2, 2023 of the DOST Director, Advanced Science and Technology Institute, submitting to the House copies of certain reports as of July 2023.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Letter dated August 3, 2023 of the CHR Chairperson, submitting to the House certain financial accountability reports for the quarter ending June 30, 2023, which were submitted to the DBM through the Unified Reporting System on July 19, 2023.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Letter dated August 4, 2023 of the PLLO Secretary, Presidential Advisor on Legislative Affairs and Head, submitting to the House a copy of their quarterly fiscal report of operations as of June 30, 2023.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Letters dated August 9, 2023 and August 16, 2023 of the Acting Bank Officer 6 and Bank Officer 6, respectively, Office of the General Counsel and Legal Services, transmitting to the House certain certified copies of a circular letter number and circular number dated 4 August 2023 and 9 August 2023, respectively.
To the Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries.
Committee reports. Committee Report 728, submitted by the Ad Hoc Committee on Military and Uniformed Personnel Pension System on House Bill 8969. Committee Report 729, submitted by the Committee on Health and the Committee on Appropriations on House Bill 8970.
To the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader. Please continue.
Additional reference of business. Resolutions. House Resolutions 1220, expressing profound condolences of the House of Representatives on the demise of Department of Migrant Workers Secretary Maria Susana Toots Vasquez Ople, by Representative Olivares.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 1221, expressing profound condolences of the House on the demise of former DILG USEC Martin Dino, by Representative Olivares.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 1222, expressing profound condolences of the House on the demise of Willie Nepomuceno, by Representative Olivares.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 1223, nagpapahayag ng marubdob na pakikiramay ng kapulungan sa naulilang pamilya at mga kaibigan ni Maria Susana Toots V. Ople, kalihim ng kagawaran ng magagawang pandarayuhan at tagapagtaguyod ng karapatan at hustisyang panlipunan, by Representative Domingo.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 1224, directing the Committees on Metro Manila Development and Transportation to conduct an inquiry on the dress code violation for motorcycle passengers provided under the Metro Manila Traffic Code of 2023 by Representatives Bosita and Gutierrez.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 1225, expressing profound sympathies and sincerest condolences of the House to the family of the late Secretary of the Department of Migrant Workers, the Honorable Maria Susana Toots Ople, by Representatives Duterte, Yap Eric, and Yap Edvic.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 1226, resolution expressing the profound condolences of the House to the family of Honorable Maria Susana Toots V. Ople, Secretary of the Department of Migrant Workers and founder-president of the Blas F. Ople Policy Center and Training Institute Institute by Representatives Romualdez Ferdinand Martin, Gonzales Aurelio, Delipe, Libanan, Marcos, Romualdez Yadamari, and Isidre.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 1227, resolution expressing the profound condolences of the House to the family of Mrs. Mary Magdalene Dolly Co. Alvarez, mother of the Honorable Mercedes Chedin K. Alvarez, representative of the 6th Legislative District of Negros Occidental, by Representatives Romualdez Ferdinand Martin, Gonzales Aurelio, Dalipe, Libanan, Marcos, Romualdez Yadamari, and Isidre.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 1228, resolution expressing the profound condolences of the House to the family of Mr. Arturo R. Garcia Sr., father of the Honorable Jose Arturo S. Garcia Jr., representative of the 3rd Legislative District of Rizal, by Representatives Romualdez Ferdinand Martin, Gonzales Aurelio, Dalipe, Libanan, Marcos, Romualdez Yedamari, and Isidre.
To the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, considering that copies of Journal Number 12, dated August 22, 2023, were already distributed to the members, I move to dispense with the reading of the said journal.
There is a motion to dispense with the reading of the aforementioned journal. Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The motion is approved. The reading of the said journal is dispensed with. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we approve Journal Number 12, dated August 22, 2023, subject to the following correction as relayed by the Secretariat. On page 14 thereof, to correct the result of the nominal voting on House Bill Number 8568, as follows: affirmative votes should be 233 instead of 230, while the negative votes and abstentions remain at 3 and 0, respectively.
There is a motion to approve Journal Number 12, dated August 22, 2023, subject to the aforementioned correction. Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The motion is carried. Journal Number 12, as corrected, is hereby approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, considering that copies of Journal Number 13, dated August 23, 2023, were already distributed to the members, I move to dispense with the reading of the said journal.
There is a motion to dispense with the reading of the aforementioned journal. Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The motion is approved. The reading of the said journal is dispensed with. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we approve Journal Number 13, dated August 23, 2023.
There is a motion to approve Journal 13, dated August 23, 2023. Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The motion is carried. Journal Number 13 is hereby approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, before we proceed, may we recognize the guest of the Honorable Stella Luz A. Kimbo, the Senior Vice Chairperson of the Committee on Appropriations. They are the Marikina Young Leaders Awardees, together with their parents and advisors. They are J.L. James C. Aspiliaga, Aliyah Michael O. Odonio, Yanka Citael Factoranan, Kate Viana M. Factor, Iziel Molato, Maria Nina Angela Tigiray, Dorothy Shane H. Estilong, Cassandra Keith B. Manuel, Zeus Benedict R. Garcia, Amit P. De La Cruz, Caitlin Ann L. Aquino, Hills Eric T. Pontañares, Asen Cloud C. Cruz, Mark Gian B. Maralit, John Edward L. Zaldivar, Enelisa Brillo, Kizea Denise L. Alforque, John Kian A. Belarmino, John Marcelino R. Blanco, and Rica Irene D. Basa.
To the guests of the Honorable Stella Luz Kimbo, the Marikina Young Leaders Awardees, and their parents and advisors, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, we will also recognize the guest of his Speaker Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez, Majority Leader Manuel Jose Manix M. Dalipe, Representatives Jordin Jesus M. Romualdo, Raul Boboy C. Tupas, and Ramon N. Gico Jr. They are the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Browner, Jr., Major General Romel P. Roldan, Major General Noe Alberto Q. Peñafiel, Major General Freddy T. de la Cruz, Commodore Salvador Henry H. Quinto, Brigadier General Arnel Jose J. Morada, Brigadier General Antonio G. Mangoroban, Jr., Brigadier General Maynard G. Camarao, Brigadier General Ferdinand Melchor C. de la Cruz, Brigadier General Efren F. Morados, Brigadier General Peter B. Burgoño, Brigadier General Juliano C. Llarenas, Brigadier General Elmer B. Suderio, Brigadier General Felix Ronnie B. Babak, Brigadier General Marion T. Angkao, Brigadier General Andre B. Santos, Commodore Edward Ike M. Desagon, Brigadier General Christopher C. Tampus, Commodore Dwight Stephen M. Dulnoan, Brigadier General Jesus Nelson B. Morales, Brigadier General Tahorudin P. Ampatuan, Brigadier General Anton G. Abrina, Brigadier General Francisco F. Lorenzo Jr., Brigadier General Gulliver L. Señires, Brigadier General Ulysses S. Marquez, Brigadier General Joey A. Escanillas, Brigadier General William P. Peñafiel, Brigadier General Simplicius G. Adezer, Colonel Isagani O. Criste, and Colonel Eugene Henry Z. Cabusao.
To the guests of Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, Majority Leader Manuel Jose Manix Dalipe, Representatives Jardine Jesus M. Romualdo, Raul Boboy C. Tupas, and Ramon Guico Jr., welcome to the House of Representatives, to the Armed Forces of the Philippines, headed by the Chief of Staff, General Romeo Browner.
Madam Speaker, may I
Majority
move
Leader.
to suspend the session for a few minutes.
Session suspended.
Dito ka para ma-endorse ka. You stay here with me at the top. Sabihin, sabihin. Oh, ini-endorse ko na. Baka dito tayo sa kabila. Para pan. Join me here.
Uy! Basta ka na. Basta ka na ngayon. Ay, di. Looking good, ah. Congratulations. Ano ka na? Bata ko dati.
Tapos ang talent. Maximization.
Session resumed. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we open the privilege hour.
There's a motion to open the privilege hour. Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Representative Bernadette B.H. Herrera of the party list BH to avail of the privilege hour.
The Honorable Bernadette B.H. Herrera is recognized for a privilege speech.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, honorable colleagues and esteemed guests, our fellow Filipinos. Today, I rise before this esteemed assembly because we are at the precipice of a water crisis and an inaction on this matter is no longer an option. The President, through various issuances, has not only informed us of the lingering possibility of a water crisis, but has enacted measures to help avert the same. One of these measures is the creation of the Water Resource Management Office under the DNR to harmonize programs in the water sector. In addition, he has also called for the strict and stringent water conservatory measures in cooperation with the Local Water Utilities Administration, or LUA, highlighting the LUA's mandate to monitor the various water districts in the country. In fact, in his past two State of the Nation addresses, the President has emphasized the need to rehabilitate and improve the water systems in the country, harping on the fact that water is our most precious resource. At the heart of this looming crisis is the problem of non-revenue water. Non-revenue water, or NRW, is the volume of water lost in the distribution system. Hence, instead adds to the higher operating cost and rather than translating to additional revenue for the water districts. It impedes implementation of current plans for new connections and contributes to an unreliable 24/7 water supply availability to household consumers. The NRW losses can be real or physical losses, as these are volumes of water that are actually lost due to worn-out infrastructures or caused by leaks or breaks in the service connections, primarily in the pipes, tanks, valves, and joints. In short, this is actual water volume that is already being produced and is already available, but is being only wasted in the system during distribution. In other words, this is water that is actually lost because of either faulty capital outlay or worn-out materials that have been used. NRW is water directly wasted and can no longer be recovered. While the LUA has ordered the water districts to keep their non-revenue water to 20%, the nationwide level of NRW was at 29.34% as of December 2022. In fact, there are 244 water districts which NRW rates are 21% and above. And take note of this, my colleagues. While there are 20 water districts that have non-water revenue rates above 48%, uulitin ko, 48%. This is not only alarming, but critically threatens our efforts in water conservation. The total NRW from these water districts in terms of actual volume of water lost translates to around 488 million cubic meters wasted annually. 488 million cubic meters. Comparatively, such NRW summed up volume represents more than half the capacity of Angat Dam, currently supplying 98% of the water needs of Metro Manila and nearby provinces. To put this into context, my dear colleagues, every year, we are losing more than half of the capacity of Angat Dam. Imagine that. This water can no longer be recovered. This is the volume of water that we waste. Thus, there is a need to address the problem of non-revenue water. Accordingly, in order to properly address this problem, new infrastructures have to be built. The improvement of our waste systems, water systems, is capital incentive, as it would require the installation of new pipes that are of superior quality to the ones that are already put in place. While it is a costly endeavor, it is a necessary and indispensable endeavor if we want to address the water crisis. Wala naman po sanang water crisis kung wala lang tayong NRW. Consequently, this would require appropriate measures coming from our chambers, wherein funds would be allocated to various water districts. It is owing to these circumstances that I specifically highlight the importance of and call upon the LUA, na maswerte po tayo, colleague po natin na nakaupo dito, si Chairman Ronnie Ong, which has the technical expertise to overlook the water supply projects outside Metro Manila and exercise regulatory power over these water districts for their help in addressing these urgent and pressing matters. Since it is budget season, my dear colleagues, I invite you to really take a serious look at this. Let us study on how we can fund these highly intensive projects, which the President already has stressed in 2 State of the Nation addresses. Let us take a very serious look at this one. The funds coming from these honorable chambers to ensure efficient and effective implementation of these changes to improve the water supply and lessen the non-revenue water of the country's water districts through LUA. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of immediately resolving the problem of of non-water revenue. We not only have the responsibility to do so, but the means to act on the matter promptly. While this is only the initiatory steps to averting the water crisis, it paves the way for water security at present and for generations yet to come. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and may we find the wisdom and determination to move forward in the service of our people and prosperity of our great nation. Again, I call upon our members of our colleagues and members of Congress. Sana po, ngayong budget season, pondohan po natin para mabawasan ang non-revenue water ng ating bansa. Together, let us empower lives. Maraming salamat, and thank you, Madam Speaker. Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we refer the speech of the Honorable Representative Bernadette Herrera to the Committee on Rules for its appropriate actions.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I now move that we recognize the gentle lady from Party List ACT Teachers, Representative Franz Castro, for her privileged speech.
The Honorable Representative Franz Castro is hereby recognized.
Maraming salamat, Madam Speaker, at sa ating Majority Floor Leader. Madam Speaker, mga kapwa ko mga mambabatas, mga kababayan, isang mainit na pagbati. Ngayong araw, Agosto 29, ay nagsimula na ang pagbubukas ng klase sa lahat ng mga pampublikong paaralan. Subalit, muli na namang sumalubong sa mga bata, guro at magulang ang mga dati ng problema sa ating mga paaralan. Una, hindi natin kaila na ang kakulangan ng silid-aralan ay isa sa mga malaking suliranin na kinakaharap natin. Ayon mismo sa Department of Education, mayroong 159,000 na kakulangan sa mga silid-aralan na humahantong sa pagsiksikan ng mga mag-aaral sa mga classroom. Nariyan na rin ang isang regular na classroom ay hinahati sa 2 klase. Mayroon ding pumapasok ng alternate days. Ang ganitong kalagayan ay hindi lamang nagdudulot ng hindi komportableng kapaligiran sa pag-aaral, kundi nagiging hadlang din sa tamang pagpapahalaga at pag-unawa ng mga mag-aaral sa kanilang mga aralin. Pangalawa, patuloy na lumalaki ang mga klase sa ating mga paaralan. Ang malalaking bilang ng mga mag-aaral sa bawat klase ay nagsisilbing balakid sa maayos na proseso ng pagtuturo at pagkatuto. Ang mga guro ay nahihirapang magbigay ng personal na atensyon sa bawat mag-aaral na nagre-resulta sa pagkakaroon ng learning gap sa pagitan ng mga mag-aaral na may iba't ibang antas ng kakayahan. Dapat ay nasa 35 na mag-aaral lamang ang isang klase para mas matutukan sila ng ating mga guro. Pangatlo, kamakailan lamang ay naglabas ang Kagawaran ng Edukasyon ng memorandum na nagbabawal sa paglalagay ng dekorasyon, posters, at iba pa sa mga pader ng mga silid-araran. Bagamat maaring may layunin ito tulad ng pagpapanatili ng kaayusan, ngunit ang pinakaimportanteng maitutulong nito ay sa mga mag-aaral na mga visual learners, lalong-lalo na sa elementarya. Nakakatulong sa pag-aaral, sa pagpapalakas ng memorya at kritikal na pag-iisip ang mga biswal na nakikita ng ating mga mag-aaral sa kanilang paligid. Hindi rin natin dapat ipagwalang bahala ang kakulangan sa sweldo ng mga guro natin. Sila ang mga haligi ng ating sistema ng edukasyon. Ngunit marami sa kanila ay hindi sapat ang kinikita upang matugunan ang kanilang mga pangangailangan at pangangailangan ng kanilang pamilya. Ang hindi tamang pagpapahalaga sa kanilang trabaho at serbisyo ay nagdudulot ng pagkawala ng gana at dedikasyon sa pag-aaral, sa pagtuturo. Sa harap ng mga hamong ito, Madam Speaker, kailangan nating magkaisa at itama ang sistema ng edukasyon sa bansa na maging siyentipiko, makabansa at makamasa. Ang bawat isa sa atin ay may papel na ginagampanan upang makamit ang tunay na pagbabago. Ang ating panawagan ay ang pagbibigay ng sapat na pondo sa edukasyon, nakatumbas ng 6% ng gross domestic product ng bansa, para sa pagpapalawak ng mga silid-aralan, pagbabawas ng bilang ng mga mag-aaral sa bawat klase, pagbibigay ng kalayaan sa mga paaralan na magpalaganap ng kanilang kulturang pampaaralan, at pagtataas ng sweldo ng ating mga guro at ng mga education support personnel. Sa ating pagkakaisa at sama-samang pagkilos, tiwala kami na malalampasan natin ang mga hamon ng ating sistema ng edukasyon. Maluwalhati nating maipagdiriwang ang tunay na dekalidad na edukasyon para sa lahat ng Pilipino. Maraming salamat po at isang mapagpalayang hapon sa ating lahat.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we and refer the privileged speech of the Honorable Franz Castro from Teachers Party List to the Committee on Rules for its appropriate action.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Cloud Bautista of the Lone District of Davao Occidental for his privileged speech.
The Honorable Claude Bautista from the Lone District of Davao Occidental is hereby recognized.
Madam Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House of Representatives, I rise today on a matter of personal and collective privilege, a matter close to home concerning our very own Southern Philippines Agribusiness and Marine and Aquatic School of Technology, known as ISPAMAS, of the province of Davao Occidental. Last August 22, 2023, the ISPAMAS Board of Trustees apparently elected a new president in the person of Mr. Randy Tudi. I sit as an ex officio member of the Boards of Trustees of ISPAMAS. Apparently, they left out this representation, the designee of the Committee on Higher Education of this House, from participating in the elections. I call this a travesty, and I will not allow the people behind this travesty of an election to choose the ISPAMAS president in the manner that they desired. ISPAMAS is a state college operating in the province of Davao Occidental, established through the efforts of a visionary leader, my late father, Assemblyman Benjamin Bautista Sr., 57 years ago. He was an educator himself, and he committed his life work to providing quality education to as many underprivileged constituents of then Davao del Sur District 2 as possible. It was his vision to produce individuals with technical skills attuned to their most abundant sources of livelihood, agriculture and fisheries. My father authored the bill passed into law as BP 148, converting Malita High School from a simple tertiary school into a state college. On March 9, 1984, the college became officially known as PAMAS. PAMAS would later on operate 3 campuses, the Malita Main Campus, the Buhangin Campus, both of Davao Occidental, and the Digos Campus, then Davao del Sur District 1. The Digos City Campus would later become, by law, the Davao del Sur State College of 2019. PAMAS is an educational institution that the people of the province of Davao Occidental hold in their hearts. It is a testament of an untiring efforts of my late father and the hardworking individuals who came after him to have a state college of the people and for the people. Now let's go back to this particular election held last August 22. There were 2 candidates for PAMAS president. On the one hand, there was Mr. Randy Tudi, who hails from Davao del Sur, presently an education supervisor of CHED, and whose professional background considered of work in a private Catholic school. On the other hand, there was Dr. Lynette A. Boncha, who hails from Davao Occidental and whose professional career in PAMAS spans 34 years, since June 30, 1989, up to the present, occupying position in various capacities. How are we to choose our PAMAS presidents between these 2 applicants? When we speak of professional competence, we mean relevant professional experience. In other words, proven track record within a state university or college. By professional competence, we also mean the ability to be responsive to provincial objectives, possessing linkages with the provincial and municipal local government units, and possessing the respect of local community. Did the board members present consider this? That is my question. Have you even considered at all how the president can bridge the gap between local community and outside if the link to the local community is absent? And what of the process? The meetings of the boards of trustees, including meetings for the conduct of election of the president, are governed by CHED Memorandum Order number 07 series of 2022. This means that there must be a meeting properly called after due notice. In meetings called for the election of the president, the 3-day written notice role is mandated. Agenda folder must be provided beforehand. During the meeting itself, the candidates who garners the majority votes of the members who are present in the meeting and part of the quorum during the election shall be declared president. Did the board members present follow proper procedure? No. I myself received notice of the August 22, 9 a.m. meeting by email the night before the meeting, specifically at 8:41 p.m. without any agenda indicated. More so, any agenda folder attached. By then, it was too late to confirm my attendance, since I was slated to attend the Committee on Appropriations Department of Education budget briefing. I cannot be in 2 places at one time. To my surprise, I knew later that on that meeting, with no agenda was actually for the election of a new Hispamas president, have I known that the agenda was to elect the president of Hispamas, I would have prioritized such undertaking. Second, I received reports that there were actually 3 rounds of voting held. Dr. Boncha had the majority vote in the first 3 rounds of the voting. A 3-round voting, ladies and gentlemen, was not only uncalled for, but totally baseless. When it seems that Dr. Boncha was likely to be the one elected, the board called for an executive session and in the end declared Mr. Tudi as the president. This report surprises and worries me at the same time because an executive session for the purpose of selecting the president is not sanctioned by the 2022 CHED Memorandum Order. The eligible local already won by a majority vote, not just once, but 3 times. And yet, the board members present reportedly disregarded this and held an executive session in order to elect the other candidate who lost 3 times. Why was a preferential treatment given to that candidate who came from the CHED and from a private school over a candidate who built a professional career within the state college? Third, supposedly, in order to justify the voting process, there was an insistence on the application of the majority voting of 50% of the total number of members plus 1 under the repealed CHED Memorandum Order number 16, series of 2009. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues, questions beg to be answered. Who was the hand that directed this scheme? Who allowed this blatant disregard and mockery of the process to proceed all the way to the declaration of the new president? I urge CHED Commissioner Aldrin Darilag, the chairman of the Hispamas Board of Trustees, to give us the answers. I also want to know, Mr. Chairman, why my office was denied a copy of the minutes of the meeting of August 22 meeting. The only reason given to us for the unavailability of the minutes is that the board secretary received orders from the chairman and CHED Regional 11 to hold its release. This representation is a voting member of the Board of Trustees of Hispamas. I demand an explanation for this blatant disregard for a member of the board when even basic standards of courtesy should tell you that proper notice and information is due to that member. There is a policy that the choosing of applicants should be held within 6 months. Have they exercised and observed the process? Did they make it public knowledge? I would also like to point out that the subject meeting where the questionable election was made, held at the regional office of CHED Region 11, rather than at the usual national headquarters. Hence, more and more questions. Was the election properly held? Was the president validly elected? Were the election fair and transparent at all? Or was the election conducted and the outcome achieved through deceptive maneuvers designed to serve the interests of a few? Let me put on record that I will demand proper accountability. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam Speaker, I reject any arbitrary and underhanded scheme to elect the President of our educational system, and I call on the Committee on Higher Education of this House to investigate this matter. Other outrageous incidents happened in relation to this conduct of the sitting SPAMAS Board of Trustees. After the election, I instructed my Chief of Staff to call their office and ask for the minutes of the meeting and other pertinent documents. That was around 3 to 4 p.m. on August 24, 2023. But she was told by the board secretary, Mrs. Don Aguadera Limao, that she was still preparing the documents. Later that day, my chief of staff texted Ms. Aguadera, but she did not text back. My COS called several times, but Mr. phone kept ringing. There was no response. The next day, my COS asked my legal consultant, Attorney Peter Pabalan, who was in the district, to follow up our request. He was told by Mrs. Aguadera that since the documents are confidential, we have to write a request letter to the regional office, which what my office staff did. We emailed Commissioner Aldrin Derelag of the CHED Central Office, CC, the Regional Director of CHED, and the Board Secretary, who was the only one who acknowledged our letter to date. A week after said election, I have yet to receive the documents. The thing that really baffled me was the reason for their withholding such document, which should be readily available to any member of the Board of Trustees. Can you imagine being a member of the board and being designated by the chairman of the Congress, yet still was not afforded due and proper courtesy in his request for a copy of the minutes of the meeting? How much more for an ordinary individual person? Was it in their guidelines that a request of such documents be made accessible to a requesting party like the member of the Board of Trustees? Are they afraid that we will be opening a can of worms? Frankly, I cannot think of any other reason than that, and to think that we are dealing with matters in educational institution. I am apprehensive on the indictment that our studentry and stakeholders will have towards the SPAMAS leadership. I call on the Commission of Higher Education and on the Committee of Higher Education of this august body to investigate this matter. For our decisions, future of our educational system and our students will be affected. If we cannot exercise probity in placing the people at the helm of our educational system, we cannot hope for the better country powered by intelligent decision makers that will lead us to a stable future. I appeal to you, let us join hands and in one accord condemn this despicable practice. Otherwise, it will not only be a travesty of election procedures, but a travesty of justice. In view of this representation strongly urges that an immediate investigation be made, and those who committed fraudulent acts in the election process be held accountable. We also request that Commissioner Aldrin Delilag be replaced, and that the declaration appointment of Mr. Tudi as President be disregarded and invalidated. Consistent with the principles of due process, equity, and fair play. He also appeals that the true winning candidate, Dr. Lynette Buncha, be declared as the President, as she is deserving of the position based on her qualification and the rule of majority of the board during the voting process last August 22, 2023. The mandate of the CHED is to institutionalize transparency and accountability. But we see here is a clear defiance of their mandate, a disregard of the sense of fair play. Thus, I strongly urge for the deferment of the budget hearing for CHED until these issues which pertain to their mandate are addressed. If we are to be stalwarts of our educational institution, it is incumbent upon us to always, at all times, guard their integrity and bring accountability to bear on all persons who tend to diminish them. Thank you and good afternoon.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we refer the speech of the Honorable Representative Bautista to the Committee on Rules for its appropriate action.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I now move that the lady from Gabriela Party List, the Honorable Arlene Brosas, be recognized to avail of the privilege hour.
The Honorable Arlene Brosas of the Gabriela Party List is hereby recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Maraming salamat, Madam Speaker, mga kapwa mambabatas at sa lahat ng mga kababayan nating nakikinig ngayong araw. Bago matapos ang buwan ng Agosto, hayaan niyo akong batiin ang lahat ng isang maligayang buwan ng wikang pambansa. Sa ilalim ng temang Filipino at mga katutubong wika, wika ng kapayapaan, seguridad, at inklusibong pagpapatupad ng katarungang panlipunan, ating ginugunita ang mahigit kumulang sa 134 na wika ng ating bansa. Sinasalamin sa nasabing tema ang mayamang bilang ng ating wika at ang pagtataguyod at pagpreserba sa mga ito. Sa kabilang banda, bakas din sa nasabing tema ang paglangkap ng usapin ng pambansang seguridad sa paggamit ng wika. Ang tanong sa ating mga sarili, paano kakamtin ang seguridad at kapayapaan sa balangkas ng ating mga wika sa panahong humaharap sa banta ng pagkabura o pagkalimot ang ating wika? Ang ating mga wika ay wikang ating pinaglaban at sa laban na ito ay nakaburda ang ating kasaysayan. Noong 1888, may 20 babaeng Pilipino ang nagpetisyon para matuto ng wikang Espanyol, ang wikang pampolitika noong panahon ng mga Espanyol. Ito noon ay isang skandalosong petisyon. Ito noon ay isang petisyong tinanggihan. Ito ngayon ay ang mga kababaihan ng malolos na ating kinikilala bilang mga babaeng ginustong lumahok sa panlipunang pagbabago. Sa kanilang kagitingan at tiyaga ay nakapag-aral ng Espanyol ng 3 buwan hanggang sila ay pinigilan ng mga pari ayon sa tala ng kasaysayan. Hindi natapos ang kanilang ambag sa kasaysayan dahil ayon sa kasaysayang Bulacan, sila'y nakaisa sa himagsikang Pilipino laban sa mga Espanyol. Sa kanilang kwento, nakikita ang kahalagahan ng mga wikang ginagamit sa kalinangan ng pagpapaunlad ng kalagayan ng bawat isa sa ating lipunan. Dagdag pa, sumisimbolo rin ang wikang Filipino sa ating kultura, pagkakakilanlan at kasaysayan. Hindi lamang ang wikang Filipino ang ating dapat kilalanin, gamitin at pagyamanin, ngunit pati na rin ang lahat ng ating mga katutubong wika. Mayroon tayong 134 na wika sa iba't ibang panig ng ating kapuluan. Kabilang narito ang ating sariling Filipino Sign Language. na pinagtibay sa ilalim ng Batas Republika bilang 11106 o ang Filipino Sign Language Act. Sa yaman ng bilang ng mga wika ng ating mga kababayan, hangad nating palakasin ang mga ito para sa kapayapaan at kaunlaran ng ating bayan. Kailangan nating sama-samang tugunan ang mga hamon sa pagpapayaman ng ating mga wika sa Pilipinas. Isa na rito ang pagtanggal ng pag-aaral ng wikang Filipino sa kolehiyo, gayon din ang pag-aaral sa kasaysayan sa high school. Nito lamang ay nirepaso ng Department of Education o DepEd ang K-10 curriculum, kung saan tinanggal ang mother tongue bilang hiwalay na asignatura. Binibigyan ng opsyon din ang mga guro sa kung anong wika ng instruksyon ang gagamitin mula grade 1 hanggang grade 3. At malaki ang posibilidad na Ingles na ang karaniwang gagamitin sa pagtuturo. Mula grade 4, Ingles na ang wikang gagamitin sa pagtuturo sa lahat ng asignatura maliban sa Pilipino at araling panlipunan. Nananawagan pa rin tayo sa kagawaran ng edukasyon na tiyakin ang aktibo at makabuluhang partisipasyon ng mga estudyante at mga kaguruan. Mismo, pati na ng iba't ibang mga kaugnay na sektor sa mga magiging pagbabago sa sistema ng edukasyon. Nakakabahala na kasabay ng unti-unting pagsantabi at pagtanggal sa wikang Filipino sa mga paaralan ay ang papatinding panghihimasok ng mga tropang dayuhan sa bansa, pangunahin ng Estados Unidos at China. Gayon din ang papatinding pagtatambak ng mga kultural na kalakal mula sa ibang bansa. Unti-unting binabago ang ating kamalayan hanggang sa tanggapin ang superioridad ng mga dayuhan. Pinatatanggap na magmumula ang seguridad, kapayapaan at kasaganahan sa pagsandig sa mga dayuhan. Pero ang katotohanan, nakaharap at hinahatak na ang Pilipinas sa tarangkahan ng digmaan, patungo sa kumukulong inter-imperialistang girian. Unti-unti tayong nilulunod sa tambak ng kalakal, pisikal man o kultural, para tanggapin na lang ang pagkalusaw ng lokal na produksyon at kakabit nito ang ating kultura at pamamaraan ng pamumuhay. Ang pagtanggal ng Filipino sa kolehiyo hanggang ngayon ay isang desisyong hindi inklusibo sa sarili nating kultura. Walang inklusibo na pagpapatupad sa isang polisiyang pilit na nililimot ang wikang Filipino at binibigyang luwag ang pagtuturo at paggamit ng wikang banyaga. Hindi din makakamit ang isang inklusibong pagkatuto kung ang prioridad ng DepEd ay ang mandatory ROTC, paglustay ng milyon-milyong confidential funds at ang pagbansag sa mga progresibo bilang mga terorista. Ngayong buwan ng wika sa taong 2023, ating pagyamanin ang wikang Filipino at mga wika ng bansa sa pamamagitan ng pakikipagkaisa sa mga civic organizations katulad ng Tanggol Wika at Tanggol Kasaysayan, mga halimbawa ng sama-samang pagkilos para itulak ang pagbabalik ng mga asignaturang Filipino at kasaysayan sa high school at kolehiyo. Buhay ang ating wika sa buhay ng bawat Pilipino. Gayon din sa aktibong partisipasyon ng mga organisasyong sibiko, mga organisasyon ng mga mamamayan, mga paalala na nananatiling naglalagablab ang pagtatangi at pagpapahalaga ng ating mga kababayan sa ating mga sariling wika. Hindi lang alaala ang ating wika ng isang kasaysayan. Isa itong pundasyon ng ating pang-araw-araw na buhay, ng ating pakikipagkapwa, ng ating mga komunikasyon, at lalo ng pagkamit ng tunay na demokrasya at ganap na kalayaan. Sa sandaling ito, nakikita natin na bagamat ang tema ng Buwan ng Wika ay nakaangkla sa kapayapaan, seguridad at inklusibong pagpapatupad, sa aktual ay walang seguridad, nawawala ang kapayapaan at pati ngayon ay inaatake ang inklusibong pag-aaral at pagpapayabong ng ating wikang pambansa at mga katutubong wika. Dahil dito, sa aking mga kapwa mambabatas, maligaya man ang aking pagbati para sa huling linggo ng buwan ng Agosto, buwan ng wikang pambansa. Nais ko ring mag-iwan ng hamon sa ating lahat na kolektibong harapin ang mga banta sa ating wika. Hamon sa atin na patuloy na tumindig at ipagtanggol ang ating mga wika at sama-samang kamtin ang tunay na kapayapaan na nakabatay sa panlipunang katarungan. Maraming salamat, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move to refer the speech of the Honorable Arlene Brosas to the Committee on Rules.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move to terminate privilege hour.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Privilege hour is hereby terminated. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, may we recognize the guests of Representative Jude A. Asidre of Tingog Party List, Reverend Father Arnold Aurelio from Archdiocese of Palo Leyte.
To the guests of Representative Jude Asidre of the Tingog Party List, welcome po to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, the House and the Senate have approved on third reading House Bill number 8400 and Senate Bill number 2035, respectively, on the establishment of the National Employment Master Plan. We have been informed that the Committee on Labor and Employment, sponsor of the House Bill number 8400, as well as the authors thereof are in concurrence with the provisions of the Senate number 2035. With this information and in accordance with our rules, I move that we adopt Senate Bill number 2035 as an amendment to House Bill number 8400.
There is a motion to adopt Senate Bill number 2035 as an amendment to House Bill number 8400. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Senate Bill number 2035 is hereby adopted as an amendment to House Bill number 8400. Majority Leader. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, under the calendar of business for the day, I move that we consider House Bill number 8836 as contained in the committee report number 710 submitted by the Committee on Justice, copies of which have been distributed to the members. For this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill.
The Secretary General is hereby directed to read the title of the said measure.
House Bill number 8836, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Ko Shi Su.
Is there any Majority Leader?
Madam Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? There being none, the period of sponsorship and debate is open. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Joey Salceda of the 2nd District of Albay to sponsor the measure.
Thank you very much.
The Honorable Joey Salceda is hereby recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Please allow me to thank the House for the opportunity to sponsor citizenship measures for today. I respectfully sponsor for the consideration of this House, House Bill 8836, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Ko Chi Su, And of course, he has his other siblings are also here to seek our grant of citizenship to them. This measure, along with that of Mr. Lee Duan Wang, were approved on third reading in the 18th Congress, just days before the term ended. As a result, the Senate did not have time to deliberate on the measures. The early approval of the measure here gives the Senate ample time to discuss what I believe are highly meritorious applications for citizenship for investors who have already devoted their lives to this country's economic development. The Su brothers of Taiwanese citizenship founded MSK Group Work Incorporated, which has played a major role in constructing businesses in Subic Bay metropolitan area. MSK Group is one of the largest warehousing and logistics businesses in Subic and is in pipeline investment of almost 52 billion in this country. They are also invested Mr. Wang Li Duan in significant investments such as the Sangyue Development Corporation and Secure Build Construction Corporation. Mr. Wang is also seeking our grant of citizenship today. The Su brothers invested in the Philippines in the wake of the Asian financial crisis, with multiple attempts, including in the restaurant business, until finally succeeding in the construction business. Su brothers applicants for citizenships are here for the long haul. They have compensated themselves minimally, have not withdrawn any dividend from most of their corporation precisely because they want to grow here and employ more Filipinos. Although they are personally committed, if these investors are unable to attain at citizenship, these plans for the long-term investment will also be compromised. Let us give these brothers the chance to receive in law what they already know in their hearts to be true, that they are Filipinos who have bet their fortunes on this success. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Period of sponsorship is hereby terminated. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of amendments is hereby open. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, there being no individual nor committee amendments, I move that we terminate the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of amendments is hereby terminated. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading House Bill number 8836.
There is a motion to approve House Bill number 8836 on second reading. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those against, say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 8836 is hereby approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, under the calendar of business for the day, I move that we consider House Bill number 8837 as contained in Committee Report number 711, submitted by the Committee on Justice, copies of which have been distributed to the members. For this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill.
The Secretary General is hereby requested to read the title of the said measure.
House Bill number 8837, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Ku Fang Su.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Joey Salceda from the 2nd District of Albay to sponsor the measure.
The Honorable Joey Salceda is hereby recognized.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me again to thank the House for this opportunity to sponsor citizenship measures. I respectfully sponsor for consideration of the House Bill 8837, or an act granting Philippine citizenship to Ku Fang Su. This exact measure was approved in the 18th Congress, but the Senate did not have material time to deliberate on the measure. I hope that with an early approval of this measure this time around, we will be able to give the Senate ample time to consider and approve it. The Su brothers are responsible for attracting $52 billion in investments in Subic as part of the MSA Group work, their company. The Su brothers began investing in the Philippines in the wake of the 1997 Asian financial crisis, which affected their first business in the restaurant business. Undeterred, they persisted in construction and warehousing business. In fact, if you have a satellite and focus on the Philippines, the single largest structure you can see are their warehouses in Subic. They have also been enthusiastic givers in charity works, including in rescue and relief, climate change adaptation, health assistance to indigenous people, and other causes. Right now, the Su brothers are engaged in what could be the largest warehouse ever built. This is consistent with our national development goal of improving our logistics and storage sector, a priority in our Philippine development plan. And this will enable us to undertake greater investments in manufacturing. I assure my colleagues that the grant of citizenship to Mr. Su will create jobs as it will enable them to make greater investment in this country whose growth story they believe in. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is hereby closed. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of amendments is now open. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, there being no committee nor individual amendments, I move that we terminate the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of amendments is hereby terminated. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading House Bill number 8837.
There is a motion to approve House Bill number 8837 on second reading. All those in favor, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 8837 is hereby approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, under the calendar of business for the day, I move that we consider House Bill number 8838 as contained in Committee Report number 712, submitted by the Committee on Justice, copies of which have been distributed to the members. For this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill.
The Secretary General is hereby directed to read the title of the said measure.
House Bill number 8838, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Ku Wei Su.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is hereby open. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Joey Salceda of the 2nd District of Albay to sponsor the measure.
The Honorable Joey Salceda is hereby recognized.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Again, please allow me to thank the House for the opportunity to sponsorship this citizenship measure. I respectfully sponsor for consideration of the House Bill 8838, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Ko Wei Su. Mr. Su and his siblings, Mr. Ko Chi Su and Ko Fang Su, are also here to seek our grant of citizenship, and which we have already approved. The Su brothers are Taiwanese nationals who sent their children to Philippine schools, unfortunately in LaSalle, and have been invested in this country since the 1990s. They invested in the country at the worst time, the 1997 Asian financial crisis. Like many Filipino businesses, they shared in the struggles of the crisis, and their first venture in the restaurant business was closed down. but they continued to believe in the future of the Philippines and eventually made it in the construction and warehousing business. The Su brothers are now undertaking what is now the largest warehouse in the country. This will greatly help build our logistics and warehousing ecosystem. Without a strong network of warehousing, such as their investments, we will not be able to build a viable manufacturing and export sector. The Su brothers have attracted at least 52 billion investment in this project, and more are forthcoming. In fact, they're considering investment in agriculture export, one of the strongest industries in their home country of Taiwan. I hope you will look favorably on the request of Mr. Su, who is Filipino in all but name, for his faith in our economic potential and his dedication to creating jobs for your people, for our people. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is now terminated. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate. I'm sorry. I withdraw my previous motion. Madam Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of amendments is now open. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, there being no individual nor committee amendments, I move that we terminate the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of amendments is hereby terminated. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading House Bill number 8838.
There is a motion to approve House Bill number 8838 on second reading. All those in favor, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 8838 is hereby approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, under the calendar of business for the day, I move that we consider House Bill number 8839 as contained in Committee Report number 713 submitted by the Committee on Justice, copies of which have been distributed to the members. For this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill.
The Secretary General is hereby directed to read the title of the said measure.
House Bill number 8839, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Lee Duan Wang.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is hereby open. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Joey Salceda from the 2nd District of Albay to sponsor the measure.
The Honorable Joey Salceda is hereby recognized.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Mr. Wang Diduan is a Chinese national requesting our support for his citizenship. Mr. Wang, together with the Zhu brothers, whose application we have earlier approved, have invested heavily in our country's development. Together, they have incorporated Top Market Property Development and Management Inc. and Yiwa Philippines Group Inc. These men have also given significantly to charitable causes in the country. Mr. Wang and the Zhu brothers, applicants for citizenship, are long-term investors in the Philippines for almost 30 years. They have already sent their children to the Philippines, reflecting their intention to be here for the long haul. They have great plans to invest in logistics in Central Luzon, a key driver for industrial growth in the country. In all my consultations with industry players in our economic zones, a strong logistics sector is the key to strong downward linkages, the bridge between industrial exporters and local suppliers. In their meetings with me, they have also expressed keen interest in investing heavily in modernizing Philippine agriculture, something they would be able to do more aggressively if they are granted citizenship in this country. Instead of importing food, we should be attracting foreign capital to develop agricultural efficiencies in the domestic sector. In other words, instead of importing food, let's import investors. Please allow me to vouch for the good faith of these applicants, especially Mr. Lidu Won, to meet the most essential obligations of citizenship. As Chairman of the Committee on Ways and Means, we will ensure that these applicants meet their tax obligations. The Senate, unfortunately, was unable to discuss these bills, even if they were approved in the 18th Congress. I am hopeful, however, that an early deliberation of these bills by the floor will allow the Senate ample time to take up their applications. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and good day to my colleagues.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is hereby terminated. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. The period of amendments is now open. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, there being no individual nor committee amendments, I move that we terminate the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of amendments is now terminated. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading House Bill number 8839.
There is a motion to approve House Bill number 8839 on second reading. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 8839 is hereby approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we suspend session for a few minutes.
Session is suspended. Session is resumed. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we consider House Resolution 1226, and for this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the said resolution.
The Secretary General is hereby directed to read the title of the said measure.
House Resolution 1226, resolution expressing the profound condolences of the House of Representatives to the family of Honorable Maria Susana Toots V. Ople, Secretary of the Department of Migrant Workers and founder-president of the Blas F. Ople Policy Center and Training Institute.
Madam Speaker, I move that we adopt House Resolution 1226 in consolidation with House Resolutions 1215, 1217, 1218, 1220, 1223, and 1225.
There is a motion to adopt House Resolution number 1226 in consolidation with House Resolutions 1215, 1217, 1218, 1220, 1223, and 1225. All those in favor, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The House Resolution 1226 in consolidation with House Resolution 1215, 1217, 1218, 1220, 1223, and 1225 is hereby adopted. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we consider House Resolution 1227, and for this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the said resolution.
The Secretary General is hereby directed to read the title of the said measure.
House Resolution 1227, resolution expressing the profound condolences of the House of Representatives to the family of Mrs. Mary Magdalene Dolly Co. Alvarez, mother of the Honorable Mercedes Chedin K. Alvarez, representative of the 6th Legislative District of Negros Occidental.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we adopt House Resolution 1227.
There is a motion to adopt House Resolution number 1227. Is there, all those in favor, please say aye. All those against, say nay. The ayes have it. House Resolution number 1227 is hereby adopted. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we consider House Resolution 1228, and for this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the said resolution.
The Secretary General is hereby directed to read the title of the said measure.
House Resolution 1228, resolution expressing the profound condolences of the House of Representatives to the family of Mr. Arturo R. Garcia Sr., father of the Honorable Jose Arturo S. Garcia Jr., representative of the 3rd Legislative District of Rizal.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we adopt House Resolution 1228.
There is a motion to adopt House Resolution number 1228. All those in favor, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. House Resolution number 1228 is hereby adopted. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, there being no other business left for the day, I move that we adjourn session until tomorrow, August 30 at 3 p.m.
So is there any objection? The chair hears none. Session is adjourned until tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Ini kuan ini namo ko gikuha ko sa tapos na nagwa og raptor. Abot ato ako
Pila mo di ba kay mahal kayo?
Pili ang kuan